Hello, it's Jim Manning, author of Patriotism, Unhinged. It's available worldwide through online retailers. I'd like to address a few comments. I really love reading the comments, both the ones that say they're praying for me. It brings up a source of enjoyment to me and woe to my wife. But anyway, I know it's them just doing their job. I've received comments sometimes that have been written by 7 or 8-year-old young men who are sons of CIA people. And the reason I say this is because when somebody makes a comment like a wisecrack, generally, that's one of the ways that the CIA hits back with comments that are nonsensical. However, on occasion, there are some very sophisticated comments that are probably written by, I would say, something that might be a cobble of history PhDs or literature PhDs from the Ivy League who don't want to be mistaken for the children of the CIA people. And so they take a lot of time, and the writing is perfect. And since my writing is never perfect, I can imagine how much they get paid to do these things. But the comments, good or bad, never disappoint. Keep them up.
It's the same pattern as Files, Sturgis, Plumlee, et al.
On the Chauncey Holt video, we had a comment. And the comment was basically that Sturgis, Files, and Plumlee seem to follow the same pattern as Chauncey Holt. They would do that because all 4 of them work for the Central Intelligence Agency. These are all guys who are either dead or almost dead, and they have nothing to fear. They're not going to jail. They would never go to jail if they told this 3 weeks after the assassination. And the reason they wouldn't go to jail was anybody else that would have been pulled into this thing beside Oswald made it a conspiracy. And so that's why Files knew back 30 years ago that he could tell this story and nobody would ever do anything to him. At first, he was in jail already, going to be there for a long time. But when he got out of jail, they didn't do anything to him. And now he's confessed to everything, and they didn't do anything to him because they don't want to make the connection between Files and the assassination.
Hello. I've watched as many of these YouTube videos as I can of yours. I've never made a comment until now. You say you read all the comments. I really hope you read this one. I watched a YouTube video from the U.S. House Committee on the JFK assassination. The testimony was from Mr. Warren on May 20th, 2025. He talked about x-rays of Kennedy's head showing 2 front head wounds. I've never heard of 2 front head wounds, or you mentioned that before either. Most of what he talked about in his 5-minute opening statement confirmed a lot of what you've said in your videos, but the 2 front head shots was new. Have you heard about the x-rays from the autopsy?
By the way, I want to thank Michaela Baker for watching the videos, and it does my heart good to hear that you've read them all, saw them all. You made a comment for the first time, and I wanted to address the comment. I, myself, am not familiar with 2 front of the head wounds. You mentioned that there was an x-ray taken at some point that showed 2 front head wounds on the body. Kennedy. I'm not familiar with that X-ray, but I'd like some more information about it. I did find one, in recent years that I was shown by a researcher. I always believed, you have a neck shot, and in the head, you have 3 shots. 2 shots are on the right side. One is around the ear. One is a little further to the rear of the ear. And one, of course, is in the temple. I'm not familiar with any others, but I'm always open to any good news, any new news, anything that will help us on our road to bringing out the truth.
The assassination was hatched at the 1960 convention.
On our hunt video, C. Wyman 77 made a comment that the assassination was born in Los Angeles in 1960 in the convention. I agree totally with that. And the proof, of course, is that once H.L. Hunt was able to convince LBJ to take the second spot, H.L. Hunt was sending a signal to him that if he doesn't die in office, we'll kill him, and you'll be the president, without saying it maybe. Another thing that I would like to give my opinion on is that we have a lot of people who have made comments about James Fowles. He's not involved because he wasn't. There was 2 people, one, 2 people behind the fence. You tell me that he doesn't say about this. He doesn't say. So I got to tell you something. From the very beginning, if you go back probably to his very first commission of what he did, those many years ago, he probably said then, I will never give a name or any evidence on anybody who is still alive. That's a big thing to him. May not be a big thing to a lot of people, but to him, I can tell you, that is a major issue. And we know about some stuff now, and the people are still alive. So we've given our word that we won't say anything about it since he was trusting of us. And so with that, let me tell you that he's dead now, so I can tell you this. Back behind the fence with him was General Lansdale. General Lansdale was in the Army, I believe. And he was the contact man between the CIA and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He ran sort of interference. Ed Lansdale was in charge that day on the ground. He was the officer in charge. Whenever it became necessary to have somebody back up Johnny Roselli, because Johnny Roselli brought the news to the Dow Tex building that they were not to go ahead with they were to abort, probably having to do with information that LBJ had given to Mac Wallace to shoot the man in front of Mr. Kennedy, which, according to the way that LBJ had set it up, would have been Senator Yarbrough, the man that he hated more than anybody in the world. Having killed a number of people before that, killing somebody else was not a big deal to him. Some things will probably come out after James passes that will surprise people. In order to get all of the information that we wanted as fast as we could. We agreed. I agreed anyway, and that may be a reason he chose me to give his deathbed confession to. I know other people very close to him, Jim, Scott, a number of people that I don't remember their names, but I know they're close to him. I think one guy visited him something like 900 times that he was in Illinois in prison. So he has friends that had been involved that you'll hear about later. James is people that don't know some of this. I can see why they may continue to doubt. But I can tell you that when this is all over, and enough people with guts in the government come out with a new investigation, there are numbers of people who have evidence, probably beyond what I have, that will set this story straight. And with that, we'll know that Jim Fowles was not a writer of some kind. Of course, the Central Intelligence Agency, they look for this and that, little things. And what they do is I think there was a time when somebody said that they were asking his wife questions, and that he was supposed to be in Dallas, and they said that somebody told them that he was up there because his daughter was sick. It turns out that his daughter was sick a year later, I believe, and so that wouldn't have had anything to do with the assassination. Another time, they were bothered a lot by Secret Service and other people with questions. And one time somebody said, well, this fellow over here, he says that he saw him on that day here. And she said, that's his twin brother. I said, no, there are some people that would not get that. And I know that. It was a flippant comment. And I knew exactly why she said that, because she was smarter than the guy asking the question. You'll have things like that when you're studying something deeply.
Dan Marvin said the Boston Mafia was invited to take part in the JFK assassination. Nah, they said, we have no beef against the Kennedys. The whole thing was like a big potluck, and in some circles, it was a great honor to be invited to come and dip your sword, being part of the action. Like the line 'em up and get out your swords attack on Julius Caesar. Papa Joe Kennedy was careful to mess with the Mafia only away from where he wanted to sleep safe and sound every night.
Now, Jackie O.W. commented about Dan Marvin and the Boston Mafia. I would agree with her comment that they may have been told about it and at the top, and that they decided it really wasn't necessary. Boston and Irish. A lot of people think that Boston is the most Irish town in the country, but that's because they don't know it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's the most Irish city in the country. Joe Kennedy was probably a brilliant man when it came to taxes and the market and making money. He was really smart about who not to cross from South Boston.